Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that really separates good Python code from great Python code. It's all about knowing when to use a comment and when to use a docstring. Let's get right into it.
You've been there, right? We all have. You open up a project you wrote 6 months ago, and it's like trying to decode some ancient text written by a completely different person. Well, that feeling of utter confusion is exactly what we're going to tackle today.
So let's start with the basics, the tool every single programmer learns first, the good old comment. It's the simplest way to leave a breadcrumb trail for your future self or for anyone else trying to make sense of your code.
Now, the most important thing to get about comments is this. Python, the language itself, completely ignores them. They have zero effect on how your program runs. They're not code, they are purely for us, for the humans, to explain the why behind a tricky piece of logic. And in Python, you've got a few ways to do it. You can use the hash symbol for a single line comment, or you can stick that same comment at the end of a line of code. We call that an inline comment. And for those longer thoughts, you can use triple quotes to make a multi-line comment. Pretty straightforward, right?
You know, the best way to think about comments is like they're sticky notes. You can slap one on anywhere you need a quick reminder. They're super helpful, they're informal, but let's be honest. You wouldn't write the official instruction manual for a new gadget on a bunch of sticky notes, would you?
And that's exactly where we get to the major upgrade. For that official instruction manual, you need something way more powerful and formal. And in Python, that something is the docstring.
Okay, so here is the absolute key difference. A docstring isn't just a comment. It's a special type of string that because of where you put it, Python actually recognizes. It then takes that string and attaches it to your code as a special attribute called __doc. And believe me, this is a total game changer.
This table really breaks it all down. Comments are those informal, ignored by Python notes. Perfect for explaining how a specific line of code works. But docstrings, they're the official built-in documentation that Python can actually read and use while your code is running. They're there to explain what a whole function or class is for.
So, to go back to our analogy, if comments are the sticky notes, docstrings are the professionally printed, fully bound instruction manual that comes right in the box with your code. It's the official source of truth.
But hey, talk is cheap. Let's stop talking about it and actually see the incredible power of docstrings with a real hands-on example. This is where it gets really cool.
All right, take a look at this. We've got a simple function called greet. Now notice the very first thing inside that function is a string wrapped in triple quotes. That's our docstring. Its placement is everything.
And here is the magic. Because Python saw that docstring, we can actually pull its content out while the program is running, just by using that doc__ attribute. The documentation is no longer just text, it's a living, breathing part of our code. This is literally what powers those helpful little pop-up tooltips in your code editor.
And it gets even better. Python has a built-in help function designed specifically to look for these docstrings. When we run help of greet, it automatically finds our docstring, formats it nicely, and presents it as clean, professional documentation. Tools like Sphinx can use this very feature to generate entire websites for your project's documentation, all automatically.
Okay, so for comparison, let's look at the exact same function. The explanation is identical, but this time it's written using regular old single-line comments. Now let's see what happens.
We try the same trick, we check the _doc attribute, and what do we get? None. Nothing. Python completely ignored those comments, just like it's supposed to. The explanation is there, but it's locked away, totally invisible to any automated tools.
And if we ask the built-in help system for a hand, well, it's just as confused as we are. All it knows is the function's name and what parameters it takes. It has no idea what it actually does. The whole purpose, the why, is just gone. By choosing comments here, we've lost all of that incredible built-in power.
Okay, so I think we can all agree. Docstrings are definitely the way to go for real documentation. But it's not enough to just write a docstring. We need to write them well, following the standards so that other developers and their tools can understand them.
And for that, we turn to the official rulebook, PAP 257. Think of this as the official style guide for Python docstrings. It lays out all the community standards to make sure documentation is consistent and useful, no matter whose code you're reading. Now, PET 257 breaks it down into two main types. For really simple functions, a one-liner is perfect. Just a quick summary telling you what it does, like calculate the total. For anything more complex, you'll use a multi-line docstring, which always starts with that same one-line summary, but is then followed by a more detailed explanation.
But here's an interesting detail. While PEP 257 gives us the foundation, it doesn't actually give us strict rules for how to format things like function arguments or what the function returns. And that bit of flexibility allowed different styles to pop up, each designed to work well with different tools. And here are the two most popular styles you're going to see out in the wild. On the left, we have the Sphinx style. It's really explicit and often used by tools that generate those beautiful HTML documentation websites. On the right is the Google Python style, which a lot of people find a little easier to read. Honestly, they're both fantastic. The most important thing is to just pick one style for your project and stick with it.
So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one question. When you use comments and docstrings the right way, your code stops being just a dry set of instructions for a computer. It becomes a rich, clear conversation with other developers and, maybe most importantly, with the future version of yourself who is going to be so thankful you took the time.